Thoughts on the Rams, on Aaron Donald, obviously arguably the best player on the Rams, one of the best defensive players in the league. Mm-hmm. Who's the face of the Rams?
Sean McVay.
Do you remember? Okay, go ahead.
I'm just going right in with boy genius, boy wonder, young Sheldon. I feel like with what he brings to the table and all of these faces, oftentimes it's going to direct you to who's the mastermind. You mentioned something earlier about Frankenstein. It was a reference. I forgot.
Yeah, the science experiment.
Yeah, science. And this is a science experiment. But when you're looking at the science experiment, think about the projects when we had those science experiments when we were younger. We didn't really pay attention to what was going on. We kind of paid attention to who was controlling it. So that's what we're looking at. I'm going to look at all these players making plays, but constantly, when I'm watching the Rams, I'm going to be paying attention to the sidelines. One of my favorite clips from last year is Sean McVay sitting on the water cooler, peeking up at his defense, just casually looking like, okay, when we get back on the field, I got some things for that D. And that's what I want to pay attention to. So, of course, it's Wade on the defense side of the ball, son of bum. But Sean McVay, as of right now, is the face of this.
Right. If he's young Sheldon, is Jared Goff what, Kaylee Cuoco? Yeah. I don't know what that world is. But we don't.
Don't make me feel less included because I don't watch Big Bang Theory.
I definitely don't watch it. I know Kaylee Cuoco. She shows up places.
You watch it like he watches Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, Peter, you whiffed on that one hard.
I got it completely right until you called me out on it.
I mean, your poker face whiffed.
No, they were driving an engine through the sands of Arabia, and he's got a mask on. I had it.
I truly.
And guess what? Say Big Bang Theory. A bunch of nerds talk about science and make quips, and there's a laugh track. There you go.
Johnny Galecki? That's the guy. We don't talk about Jared Goff very much on the show. I don't know why. He's a #1 pick, California kid, incredible season last year. I actually do know why. It's because we're talking about all these teammates he brings together, and Gurley and Donald and all these guys. But Jared Goff was the difference. Remember Jeff Fisher, Jared Goff? It was not pretty. We were like, this guy might be a bust. All the dumb jokes about knowing where the sun rises. Then McVay shows up, young Sheldon, and Jared Goff's like, all right, we're good for the next, 13 years. Jared Goff, I know he doesn't get the pub, but he is the face of the team, if not the most important player by far. Jared Goff doesn't work. These guys don't work.
I'm looking at these highlights and all this, and we're talking about young Sheldon. To me, I'm going with Aaron Donald, and the CBS show is that one that's called Scorpion.
Oh, yeah, McPhee. Catherine McPhee's in that.
Scorpion. Okay. And the reason why is...
Catherine McPhee guy?
Yeah, I got the McFever. Yeah.
I've never seen that show either, but I hear it's tremendous. And the reason I say Aaron Donald is that it all goes through him, and they've been showing this thing. They've got this great Facebook watch series I've been watching called Behind the Grind.
Okay.
And they go through these guys in their offseason, and Aaron Donald is in the basement of what looks like his childhood home, where he's not at practice with the Rams. He's not living this LA life. He's in Pittsburgh in like 80 feet below.
What's he doing?
Just doing crazy lifting with chains, like savage type stuff. And I'm thinking, all the glamour, all the glitz, all the stuff with Sean McVay and the frosted tips, all that.
Yeah.
It all starts up front. Aaron Donald being a savage, being a scorpion up front. And that's where that team, to me, really bears itself. And that's really the truth.
What is that called? The Facebook thing?
Behind the Grind.
I cannot wait to watch that. But I got to ask you guys. Last year we had this conversation.
Yeah.
The LA Rams had a billboard up for season tickets. Who was on the billboard?
I think it was Goff.
Jared Goff was on the billboard, and we had a debate here at the breakfast table, like, who else would you put on that billboard? So it's sort of weird, like, Jared Goff's on this billboard to sell season tickets. It is crazy to me that we are having this conversation right now because there's like a million stars that you would put on that billboard outside of Goff. Who would you now put on that billboard in LA on the 101?
I put Gurley. I put Todd Gurley, and I would not do it
so to me, he's the face of the franchise.
Yeah, because when he jumps over tacklers, Kay, it's really cool on the 101.
Him hurdling?
Yeah, I would.
You're not putting Goff on the billboard anymore. You're not putting Aaron Donald on the billboard. Who are you putting on the billboard?
Gurley. Actually, I might put McVay on the billboard. They like that on the 405, right? I'm into that. It caused a traffic accident.
What about Talib, Peters, Sue, and Cooks? And they say,
2018.
Like 2017 was that?
Boom.
Come on. Join us.
Yeah,
it's crazy that you can have an argument for all of them.
Yeah, you really could.
It's wild. And last year it was they put Goff on it because there really wasn't much else to do.
No, it was his face, and it was like a poker face. It was not compelling.
Great.